Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Play Kirby's Adventure. Now we're going to take on level 6, the Orange Ocean. Alright, so now we are finally on level 6. This is probably one of my favorite soundtracks of the game as far as level music goes. And I highly recommend going back to the level 5 arena and grabbing the hammer. In fact, it's actually required for our next hidden switch. So this hidden switch is probably one of the more frustrating ones to get because you again have to hold the hammer ability for quite some time. And this first part of the level the stage can be kind of difficult to navigate through many enemies because you're going to be navigating underwater, which if you're not used to doing that, it can be kind of a pain. And I have already beginning to correct myself because I know in an earlier video I said that you cannot use any abilities underwater. The hammer is actually one of those abilities that you can use. But if I believe, and again correct me if I'm wrong, anyone in the comments, but I believe any other abilities that you hold, if you're underwater, you can't use those. Kirby spits out the water. If I'm wrong, then that's embarrassing, but that's just what I thought. But the hammer, obviously I can use it underwater. But we're going to go ahead and head into this passageway. We will find a 1-up on the right, and then we'll find a Maxim tomato on the left. And then what we want to do is smash that platform, head down to this passageway for our first hidden switch of the level. And that unlocks the museum for level 6. But yeah, kind of like I was going back to what I was saying, this is probably another one of my favorite levels apart from Butter Building. Not only are you navigating a colorful orange ocean, and I had a feeling I was going to die there because I was stunned for quite some time. Anyways, now that we're back, like I was saying, this is one of my favorite levels. Again, the level design, I've kind of hit it over the head, I think enough times by now in this Let's Play, but why not just talk about it again? You have an orange ocean, and as you can see, this is our first instance of it. And I love how they keep everything very symmetrical when it comes to, like, even like the sky is like a darker shade of orange, and then it splits between the land and the water. And then you have, even if you just like notice like the landscape that we're kind of platforming on in this area, like how the land is like a darker shade of orange, and then the ocean's like a lighter shade of orange, but it's there's a nice little boundary line there between the water and the land. It just looks so beautiful, and again, this game is just very colorful with its design, and that's what makes it one of the most visually appealing games. But we're gonna go ahead and move on to stage 2. So this level is probably, for the most part, this is when things start to kind of heat up. I know I kind of said that last level, but the last one really isn't much compared to the Orange Ocean in terms of difficulty. Again, this game is pretty straightforward and easy. I'm not saying this is like, very hard. I'm just saying they kind of up the ante a little bit. It's kind of starting with this level, I would say. Alright, so I actually had a cut there. Do not do what I just did there and pass this area right here with this bomb block, because you actually want to head up here. Foolishly enough, I missed this stone guy. You're going to need him for your next hidden switch. And also something that's important to point out in this level, the Orange Ocean, and I believe so, but there are hidden switches in every single stage of this level. Alright, so now that I lost my stone ability, I had to cut and go back and get it. So we are now going to go ahead and proceed. And darn. Those guys are just kind of hard to avoid, especially in this stage, because you're very limited to where you can move around when the cannon goes off. So kind of keep that in mind. But if you're quick enough, you can retrieve your stone ability back if you do lose it during that part. But again, this can get frustrating because you do have to hold for some of these hidden switches, because you have to hold abilities for quite some time without dying. But this is another area where we will find a hidden switch. So what you want to do is, using that stone ability, see if I can actually take out this enemy first, because he's probably going to cause some problems if I don't. And first of all, I want to say that this is where they start with the igloo designs, and I love this. But use that stone ability to smash that switch, and then you will find your next hidden switch. But yeah, like I was saying, as you can see, there was an igloo. We'll kind of go back out to that area and look at it. I love that design of the igloo, and that guy landed right on my head. I couldn't avoid that. The igloos look even amazing. I know it's 2D, it's NES graphics, but that just looks amazing. And we'll kind of see more of those things a little bit later on as well. But now we're just navigating these pillars with these clouds, I guess, attached to them. So that's kind of what we're going to be using as platforms. Again, I love the fact that you can use clouds as platforms. That is freaking awesome. I'm getting a little bit nerdy and a little bit awkward and weird, and I apologize, but it wouldn't be an episode of my Let's Play if it wasn't like that. So, but now that we have the stone ability, we'll be able to kind of move, kind of smash through these enemies pretty easily. As you can see, we have the tornado guy down there. I don't think I've showed that ability off. Well, we lost that, so let's see if we can actually... Okay, we got it back. But if I get that ability and I lost it again, I will try to show that off as well, because I don't think I've shown off the tornado ability. But we lost our other ability. So we have a guy here rolling on a Maximum Tomato. We're going to go ahead and take care of the Poppy Bro, but take the Maximum Tomato. Alright, so we have another Parasol, so we'll be able to kind of fly through the rest of this stage pretty simply. Pretty easily, actually. Another cannon that we definitely want to avoid. We have a swordsman down there that we really don't need to mess with. Take care of all these other enemies, and then we will arrive at the end of stage 2. Man, this is just... We're just breezing through these stages. Especially, I mean, we're getting towards the end of the game, too. Like, this is kind of like... This is it. But we hit another number 1, so we get another 1-up, which is nice. Add to the collection of 1-ups. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and now head on to stage 3. Now you see it's already been unlocked because I had to exit the level the first time because I forgot to get my stone ability for that hidden switch. But like I said, there's a hidden switch in each stage in this level, so we have another one coming up in this stage. And as you can see, we have the Parasol, so we'll be able to kind of glide a little bit easier through the stage, grab this energy drink down here, and we're moving right along. So, that was not planned. But this is a ship that we are kind of platforming on now and exploring. And this is over the Orange Ocean as well. But if you come down here, you will find another Mr. Bonkers mini-boss. For this guy, it is important that you do fight him. I think this is actually an optional fight, technically. Because technically you can jump up to the right there and climb up that ladder and move forward with the level. However, if you want to 100% the game, this is a required fight. Because you want to take his hammer ability again, that you will need it for the next hidden switch. So now that he's defeated, we will take his hammer and we will smash this block, head down here because your next hidden switch is actually located over here. And kind of like I was saying in one of the earlier episodes as well, we'll take care of this cutter and then grab that energy drink actually because we are very low in health. Not surprising though. There's actually a hidden door through here, and I didn't get that 1-up. I didn't mean to go back through the door, though. So this is another reason why I love this game. They just hide these switches so cleverly. Like, who would think to go down there and find, like, an invisible door that literally does not appear if you don't know about it? Which, fair enough, you know, if you have to look it up online, you know, that's one way of finding it. But if you're just, like, exploring the game and you just happen to, like, go through that door that's, like, invisible, you should feel good about yourself, because that's just clever level, clever level design when it comes to hiding the switches. But we actually want to go through this door, and we actually want to grab this laser ability, and then head back through. And then we want to go through this door up here on the top left. Alright, so I tried this several times, and for some reason I could not get it, but what you want to do is shoot that laser at that fuse that shoots you up here in the clouds for your next hidden switch. And that unlocks the Crane Fever game of level 6. Alright, so now we're on the top of the... looks like kind of towards the top of the ship here. Again, this is one of my favorite level designs. Kind of similar to the airship stage that we had in... I think it was was it the Butter Building or Grape Garden? One of those two. This is just a very well-designed stage, and I love traveling and exploring on top of a ship. It's really cool, but it's also kind of nice to see a little bit more of a larger, kind of the environment in a larger scale in this game, especially knowing that it's a 2D platformer. And I love that sunset there in the backdrop. That is amazing. I don't even remember if I've noticed that before. But even just simple things like that in the level design and the backdrops just gives this game such a beautiful design and a beautiful look. But we're going to go ahead and end this stage off, and we're going to move right along here. Alright, so now we're finished with stage 3. From that ship, as you can see, it's amazing seeing that in the backdrop again in the hub world. We now move on to stage 4, and it looks like we have some trees in the backdrop, so we're probably going to be exploring another island. So let's go ahead and do it. As you can see, those things fall from the trees. If you just run right through, right underneath them pretty quick, they're pretty easy to avoid. Otherwise, they can cause some problems, but again, they just have to add that extra little challenge because, again, we're progressing towards the end of the game here. And it's just kind of what makes games good, you know, especially when there was a lot more challenge to games. I just kind of like it, you know, maybe not too much, but enough to where it kind of throws you off is fine with me. As you see, we have an energy drink. We're trying to not die from that cannonball there. See if we can get this guy. And there's a one up to the left over there. That one, actually, I think what you're supposed to do is go back over to that bomb block, destroy it. That's above that witch enemy with the broom. And there's a way where you can get that one up to the left. But we're not going to worry about it because we're not necessarily looking to get all of the one-ups and the food items. Mainly just focusing on hidden switches. But we're going to jump down here. You can see there's another one up over there. I think that you are able to get that by, again, destroying that bomb block at the top by the entrance up there, but we're not going to worry about it, and we're going to take the cutter ability. So we can just cut through some of these enemies really quick and try to get through this cave in a reasonable time frame. And now we are in a green ocean. So we're in orange ocean, but this water is green. I don't know if they designed it like that to make it look like it's like polluted or not, but I love the detail they go into this game, even in the watercolor and design. It even looks really gritty. Like if you look really close, like if you're playing or if you're watching this, the water looks really gritty and like there's like, you can see like the textures of like the waves, and it just looks really amazing. You know, I've said that a million times throughout this Let's Play. I'm going to continue to do so, darn it. But if you go in this little area here, there's another invisible doorway for your next hidden switch. And that'll unlock the egg hatching game. And we're just knocking these switches out left and right. And we actually don't have that many left to go. We have the remainder of this orange ocean level. The rest of these stages have one switch in each stage. And then we have a couple more in the next level. And then we're going to be done, actually. So that's actually not... it's not too hard to find all of them. You just kind of have to know where they are. Either by just exploring around the game a lot or literally looking it up online. But this game is designed in a way where they encourage you to explore around, so it's very easy to find a lot of them. Maybe not all of them on your first playthrough if you've never explored the game enough. But now we're out on an island. We have more of an orange backdrop there, and we can see the orange ocean in the background, which is amazing. But now we have a little bit of a challenge where we're going to be flying around flying around these trees and trying to avoid these things falling down. And I think they're like, they're not coconuts. I can't remember what those things are exactly, but that's a little bit embarrassing, just like my death right there. Death to a bird. I mean, come on. Kirby gets taken out by a bird. That's just not the Kirby we've seen so far, so I don't know why that happened. But anyways, we are ending the stage. Number 2, not too bad. But now we will unlock stage 5, and once again we have a hidden switch hidden throughout that stage as well. So let's continue. And as you can see, we have now entered our first ice stage. So this is again why I love the game. More variations, more different landscapes. We went from the orange ocean, now we're in an Arctic stage, so we're gonna go ahead and continue onwards. But this is the ice ability. I don't think I've actually technically showed this off. I think I showed the freeze ability. The ice ability works similar to the freeze ability, except it turns enemies directly into an ice cube form instead of just... Well, actually, I think that's what the freeze ability does as well. But that one's called ice, and it kind of does the same thing. It just maybe... I think the animation of the attack looks slightly different, but very similar to the freeze ability, so... No reason to really show that off, you know, too much anyways. We're going to avoid that respawning cannon and then head through this doorway. Have more of those guys, kind of get those out of our way. I think ice levels, another reason why Kirby games are so successful again is the variation in their level design. This is one of the games that started it. But I think a lot of games that came after it really kind of enhanced on it. So now we're going to go ahead and move on to this area. So what you want to do is take this fire ability, because we actually have another hidden switch coming up soon in this area. So what you're going to do is blast this bomb block open, and that'll open a passageway down below. However, you want to move past it, destroy these enemies in your path, and then open this passageway. You want those both open at the same time, but you want to then come down to the first one, and you will find a fuse. Use your fire ability to light the fuse, and then you want to quickly jump and glide over these enemies. Jump down into the cannon, and blast your way up into the sky. And you will be on top of some clouds with yet another hidden switch. That opens a quick draw. Even the clouds are orange in this level. That's just... I don't know, I just love it. But that ends the stage, and we are nearing the end of Orange Ocean. Alright, so stage 5 is complete. So all we have left is stage 6. So actually what I wanted to do is I went ahead and traveled back to, warped back to level 5 and stage 5 and to the part where you enter the castle and you have this fight with the fire lion. The reason I'm showing this is because you definitely want to take his fireball ability, and this is one of the easiest, quickest ways to get it. Takes a little bit of warping around back to level 5, but it's not that bad. So once you have the fireball ability, we can now enter stage 6 because, like a fool, I entered it without thinking that we needed this ability for the next hidden switch. And this is the final hidden switch of level 6. So this is one of the more, again, it's a little more thought out because you have to come in with a very specific ability. But once you know this and you learn this, it's pretty easy because you kind of have it in the back of your mind, even though I didn't this time. We have another gorgeous igloo waiting for us to go through. But first, we actually want to fly down here onto this ice platform, and then we use our fire ability to not die, but to break those ice blocks, because we will find our final hidden switch of level 6, which opens a warp star door. Alright, so moving right along, so now we want to go ahead and travel back up to that igloo, and we want to go ahead and enter that. And now we go back into the stars. We have UFOs, and this is the first time this has happened, so if you swallow more than one enemy at once that hold abilities, they will basically generate a kind of like a shuffle where it shuffles through all 25 abilities and it will pick one at random. So we had the mic ability, and then we had the UFO ability, but we lost it because that's something that happens a lot. But I think we can get through this part without the UFO, and it's pretty OP. I don't really need it, so you know what? It's all good. See if I can try to get that Maxim tomato. Get rid of that guy, because he is going to try to possess me if I don't. And as you can see, the stars and the moon up there, I love that design of the moon. It's just simple things for me. I mean, games can really do something as simple as that in their level design, and I'm all for it. But now down here, we have two different mini bosses. Well, they're the same. We have Mr. Frosty, but it's the Mr. Frosty twins. So what you want to do is you want to, again, chuck his ice cubes back at them, and they will go down quickly. One of the easier mini bosses in the game, so there shouldn't be any trouble at all. And we collect the freeze ability. So moving right along. Of course, I lost it, which is nice. We have more amazing level design with the squares and the kind of checkered green squares in the backdrop there. You know, they really, it really says a lot when you're literally just traveling like this, basically just like a cave area, and they can make it look so beautiful and amazing as they do. That takes a lot of talent. So Going back through this next igloo, we will face our next Meta Knight mini boss. So now we are fighting outside the igloos on these ice platforms. This one is probably the most challenging, simply because you slide around on the... Oh, and I died there. That didn't take long. Go ahead and try this again. But like I was saying, this is the most challenging Meta Knight mini boss fight. Because it is... You're on ice, you're sliding around, and it can be kind of hard to navigate a little bit. It's not like too much harder, like I think I'm probably exaggerating when I'm saying this, but it just makes it a little bit more difficult. But if you have kind of gotten the pattern in these fights, this one's really not going to be that bad. It's going to be very similar to all the ones we've done already, except if you can't get rid of the annoying Trident Knight guy that's just chucking those pitchforks at you, then it can be kind of a pain. So we're going to try to see if we can get rid of him. And then we're left with Axe Knight and now Mace Knight. So yeah, like I said, nothing special about these fights other than the ice on the ground that you can slide on. But otherwise they will, the fights will function exactly, or this fight will function exactly like all the rest have. Now that we, oh, I thought we were done there. But we now finish stage 6, so we have finished the last stage of level 6. So it's time for the boss. Let's take this on. Alright, so this is the boss of level 6. This is Meta Knight himself. So yes, he will finally fight us, and this guy is a challenge. This is probably the hardest boss in the game. And I even am going to go ahead and say that even compared to the final boss. Because I think the final boss can be challenging, but this one I think is the most challenging in my opinion, personally. As you see, I'm already at 1 hit away from death, so I'm probably going to die here. I suck at this fight. I'm not going to lie. This fight can be a challenge, but I think if you're good at following the patterns, like I'm not doing good right now, alright, so we're gonna go ahead and try that again, because we're not a quitter, and we're gonna get back into the ring and grab our sword. But yeah, so this guy's pretty challenging. Meta Knight is going to mirror Kirby's movements, so you want to be very careful as far as where you're walking, because he will copy exactly where you're walking. If you're better at the patterns than I am, you would probably have no problem with this guy at all. But basically the whole point of this fight is you're picking up a sword, and you're basically engaging in a one-on-one sword fight with Meta Knight. It's epic, it's amazing. I'm horrible at it, but it's still epic and it's awesome. And this is, I can't ruin a good moment. This is awesome. I mean, this is like one of the moments I think everyone's been waiting for. You know, maybe they have played this game, or maybe this is one of their favorite fights. I don't know. But I love this fight. Again, it can be challenging, but if you just keep swinging your sword enough times like I just did there, you will take the guy out, crack his helmet open, and send him off crying to his mother. But now we got another piece of the star rod, so I will see you guys in the next episode when we take on level 7. We're getting close to the end.